Good afternoon, pirates and treasure hunters. I'm Greg. Welcome to Life's a Treasure. Yesterday, we came down to the Treasure Coast to see what then Tropical Storm Imelda was doing as far as beach erosion goes. Unfortunately, there wasn't a whole lot of beach erosion, at least not enough to get a lot of that renourishment sand carried back out to sea. But today, we are back down here because now Hurricane Imelda, as it moves farther east from the coast, is still causing a lot of high surf and wind along the Treasure Coast. I'm very excited to get out there and hopefully find some of those 1715 goodies. But if nothing else, we're gonna at least show you what the beach conditions look like after a tropical storm or a hurricane passes somewhat close to the coastline. Okay, so we're starting our day at the Turtle Trail Beach Access, otherwise known as Corrigan's, and it's high tide right now, and there's still some pretty high surf. Actually, this is a higher surf day than yesterday. The waves are coming all the way up to the dune line, at least some of the waves are, but I'm not seeing the erosion I was hoping for. This is all still renourishment sand that I'm standing on. Heather is standing on some stairs and they're not hovering in the air. So there's still a lot of that renourishment sand here. So we're not gonna stay at this beach. There's not really much beach to detect anyway. There is one beach I'm particularly excited to go check out, and that's Bonsteel, but we'll talk about that when we get there. What I do wanna mention right now is my brand new detector. I got a Deus 2 with the Amphibian 2 headphones so that I can use it in the water. And we will put Amazon links, or if you happen to be in Florida or want to patronize a local company, I bought this from Jamel over at Digging It Detectors, and I'm not sponsored by him. He's just a really great guy that helps out the Treasure Coast community with their metal detecting needs. So we'll put a link to that in the description and right here. All right, let's go to the next beach. Today we're going in the reverse order of yesterday. So we started at Turtle Trail, we're now at El Paso, and we're gonna head north from here. As you can see, again, it's high tide. I'm getting rained on. Again, it's high tide right now, and there is definitely some beach cutting going on, but still not enough. So hopefully as the tide goes out, that cut gets bigger and a little more promising. Wow. I love hurricane weather. It's so much fun.
So did the surfers.
They're insane. The more power to them. You know what? Go have fun.
That did not work as planned.
That's not a surfer, that's a boogie boarder.
No, there was one out there. There's one out there. See?
There was one other detectorist in the parking lot getting his gear ready. But you can see the current conditions, they're improving for metal detecting. If it's gonna get, I don't know if it's gonna get to a point where it gets down to those 1715 goodies. Time will tell. Let's get to the next beach, and I'm excited to get up to Half Real. We're at Amber Sands Beach Access now. Getting rained on again, same as yesterday. So while we were waiting for the rain to slack off, I was checking the current strength of Hurricane Imelda. It's up to 85-mile-an-hour sustained winds, so it's a good solid Cat 1. Meanwhile, Umberto, which is further out to sea, is now also a Cat 1 with 80-mile-an-hour sustained winds. It was all the way up to a Cat 5 a couple of days ago. Something I saw last night while I was doom scrolling is that out in the Atlantic, there are 85-foot waves. Wow, that's crazy. Anyway, as you can see here on Amber Sands, not nearly as much cutting as some of the other beaches. We're gonna go up, check out Bonsteel, and then make a decision as to where we wanna hunt.
No!
I love this! Ah!
There is a detectorist down there.
There is a detectorist down there.
Hello, detectorist.
Yesterday there Protectorists. I was the only one. Why? Because it wasn't worth checking out. Today, it's better. I still don't think it's quite there, but you know the great thing about this? We haven't seen this level of beach erosion since last winter. So even though we're not getting the beach erosion we need, it's the start of what we need. Reason being, it's only in the spring that they do all this beach renourishment. So from now until the spring, when they start that process again, every subsequent storm that comes through is just gonna tear out more sand. Now granted, it can sand in and it can sand out, but the good thing is they're not adding any. So it's gonna hopefully get better and better as we go into the fall and into the winter. Let's go to Bonsteel. We are now at Bonsteel Beach, otherwise known as Half Real, for the amazing number of Half Real coins that have been found here over the decades. And it is very sanded in. However, we're getting a lot of these waves coming right up to the dune line, and that's what you want to see on this beach. This beach seems to have a little bit different dynamic than a lot of the other beaches on Treasure Coast. It seems like whenever you get really high surf that comes all the way up and hits the dune line, it drops half reals right there along the dune line. Why it does that, I don't know. My theory is because they're really light coins, they get tossed in by that high surf, hit the dune line, some sand falls on them, and there they sit. Could be right, could be wrong, don't know. But let's go see if we can find some. It's a shiny penny.
Oh, is it?
That's okay. Hey, that's cool. Very shiny penny.
Oil?
I think it's a pill. I don't know what a tough nil is. I'll have to Google that. Here, take this. Tell me what it does.
No.
How do you feel? Now, apparently 45 is can swap. So we'll commit that to memory. And it's like 45 to 50. Coming up all the way into the 70s, and it is the bottom of a can. I mean, it's fairly large, you know, so and it was deep. I don't know what's going on, but maybe the CTX had a bigger thing, because I could always rest it there and it would stay there. Or maybe it was just the sheer weight of the CTX. We're going to continue hunting for a little bit, and then we're going to head north and check out some of the, not really Treasure Coast beaches, but still areas where things from the 1715 have been found. But also there will be a chance of finding modern day stuff. So still too sanded in, unfortunately. Well, as you can see, I changed shirts. We got caught in one of the rain bands, and we both got soaked. But also, I am Captain Krabby right now because I was really hoping that I was gonna find something, anything today, shipwreck related. What did I find? A penny. I found one penny.
It's shiny.
It's a shiny penny. We're not even gonna bother to do a reveal because what is there to reveal? The penny I found yesterday, the penny I found today. Anyway, so we're at Juan Ponce de Leon Beach. This is the beach we started at yesterday, so we're ending here today. And as you can see, if you look behind me, it is still very sanded in.
Wah, wah.
So we're just gonna have to wait for Mother Nature to do her thing. And in the meantime, you know, hopefully you enjoy our videos. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.